Steam Next Fest is one of my favorite times of the year, where we can try demos and fill our wish lists with exciting new indie games. But with almost 3,000 games in this most recent Next Fest, it can be tough to know where to start. I'm here to help with that. Here are 10 demos that I played during Next Fest that you should keep an eye on. Oh, and as far as I can tell, there is no AI content to be found in these games. Support games made by humans for humans. Alright, let's get into it. Onwards! Now, the demo that I was most excited to try in Next Fest is Skate Story. In Skate Story, you play as a demon made of glass on a quest to eat the moon to earn your freedom. And if you don't hear that sentence and go, hell yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why you're playing video games. So in Skate Story, you grab a skateboard, you learn to do some tricks. The tricks are very methodical. This is not the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater arcadeness, although it's not realistic. You learn to do simple ollies, kickflips, shove-its, and things like that in the demo. And you can't fall, it's all about trying to get combos and string tricks together. There are some score attack sections, but the bread and butter of this demo, my favorite part, were the levels where you're just skating through a linear course, jamming to the music, jumping over stuff that's in your way. It is a real vibe. You take in the visuals, as you can see right now, and the music is awesome as well. I really enjoyed the Skate Story demo, and I can't wait to find out what the rest of the game will put in front of me. Skate Story releases December 8th, 2025, so just a few more months. The other game I was most looking forward to trying is Cairn, which is a mountain climbing game where you individually control each arm, hand, and foot to make sure that each limb gets a good handhold, a good foothold, a good anchor spot, so that you don't fall off the mountain and die in a gruesome manner. Now, with the individual limb controls, the limbs look a little bit goofy as you're moving from spot to spot, but this game really got me thinking about how sometimes what we call good gameplay really boils down to making a plan, executing on the plan, making little micro decisions along the way. And that is what Cairn is all about, finding the perfect place to grab hold, finding the perfect anchor point to put your foot. Cairn is 100% about those little micro decisions as you try to make it up the walls. Each wall in Cairn is kind of like a new puzzle or a new boss fight to overcome. The demo also showcased some other game mechanics like hunger and thirst meters, backpack inventory management, finding good spots to take a rest on the rock face, and as you climb up and get to the end of the demo, you'll see the giant imposing peak that you will climb in the main game, and I can't wait to see what the whole game is like. Cairn has a Q1 2026 release date, so it should be coming relatively soon. Next up is Aerial Knight's DropShot. This is an arcadey first-person shooter where you skydive, avoid obstacles, catch slipstreams, and shoot enemies out of the air with finger guns to make sure that you reach the end and grab that parachute so you can land safely. DropShot gets you right in the action, gets you in the air quickly using first-person shooter controls that we're all used to. It's a very intuitive game, and it turns out to be a challenge-based game as well. You're incentivized to replay levels. Levels are quick, and you're probably not going to get every enemy on your first run, so you can replay the levels and try to get all of the enemies. Pick them all out of the sky with your finger guns. I felt myself wanting to replay the levels and ace every level, even in this demo. As you can tell, it has a cool visual aesthetic, the music is awesome, and you get these big, satisfying slowdown bangs when you shoot an enemy. It also had a really fun boss fight level. So I'm really interested to see what this whole game will look like. I think you should check this one out. No release date for DropShot yet, so throw it on your wish list and stay tuned for updates. I really enjoyed the vibey sci-fi space exploration of Exo 1, and Exo Rally Championship is the next game from that studio. In this game, you do rally racing on moon rovers in these harsh, untamed sci-fi space planets and moons. In Exo Rally Championship, staying upright is key. This is not a pedal to the metal, full speed ahead, turn with reckless abandon type of game. The condition and upkeep of your rover is most important. So you want to make sure you don't flip, you want to make sure you don't run into rocks, and you want to try to avoid getting airborne too much because you'll come down and damage parts. So there are little micro adjustments that you can make with these directional boosters and thrusters to make sure that your rover stays level and make sure that you land softly and you can continue on your way. So it's all about plotting a course through these harsh environments and managing risk reward when you choose, do I want to go over that hill or do I want to take a couple extra seconds and go around it? You might be trading a couple of seconds for safety, or if you're feeling really confident, go over the hill, try to keep upright, try to stay in one piece. It's a very technical racing game and it had a very steep learning curve in the demo, but it was really, really engaging and the aesthetics are fantastic. Tragedy struck my run in the last race of the Grand Prix, but I can't wait to play the full game and see if I can master these mechanics. Exo Rally Championship doesn't have a release date yet, but stay tuned. Hoopland is a demo for all the basketball fans out there, and especially if you're missing games like NBA Jam back in the day. Hoopland is like that. It captures that aesthetic, and it captures some of the goofy gameplay, the high-flying dunks, the on-fire, things like that. But Hoopland has more depth than NBA Jam did. It's 5-on-5 basketball. You can run plays. You have to manage fatigue for your players. There's a shooting meter to make sure you get accurate shots off. I didn't do this in the demo, but they are planning franchise modes, customizable leagues, a career mode where you create a prospect and enter college and play through their whole career. Oh, and as you can see, it uses fun player names and slightly, maybe legally distinct team names like the LA Stars, the Boston Charms, with their team colors, and so on. As a fan of arcade and retro sports games, this is awesome. It really reminds me of my favorite mobile game, Retro Bowl, which kind of brings Tecmo Bowl to mobile gaming. So if you love retro sports games and if you love basketball, make sure you check out Hoopland. Hoopland releases into early access October 21st, 2025, which is almost today. Ambrosia Sky is a colorful mix of power wash simulator, a little bit of hard space shipbreaker, and a sci-fi mystery about a spreading fungal infection. You'll use your futuristic water gun to clean the fungal infestations, harvest fungal parts to upgrade your gear, and learn more about this story and learn more about your character that you're playing as. This game made a great first impression. It combines kind of the slow, horror-adjacent mystery of a space sci-fi spreading infection story, but also the meditative calm of a power wash game. Oh, and it has a grapple beam so you can launch yourself across the rooms to get up into high corners, or, just to have fun, hang from the ceiling while you're pressure washing something out of a high corner. If you cleaned everything in Power Wash Simulator and you're looking for something with more of a story, check out Ambrosia Sky. Act 1 of Ambrosia Sky releases November 10th, 2025, so not long to wait. I got a chance to play Love Eternal at PAX East this year, and it was one of my favorite games I played at the show, despite the convention show floor being a loud and noisy environment to get a first impression for a game. So in the comfort of my own home, I get to try it again? Hell yeah. If the pitch What If VVVVVV was also a psychological horror sounds great to you, then you and I, we're friends already. Love Eternal combines that gravity-flipping platforming with a psychological horror story that just touches the surface in the demo, but presents a very interesting story hook at the end of it. I can't wait to see where this story is going, and the precision platforming feels awesome. Even in a very short demo that took me 11 minutes to get through, Love Eternal really makes a good impression, and I can't wait to see what the full game is like. Love Eternal's Steam page says it's coming soon. Here's a pitch that I can't believe it's taken this long to get out there. What if Braveheart met Dynasty Warriors? That's Tears of Metal. Imagine going through the countryside, slicing dozens of Englishmen out of the way, while bagpipes score the action behind you. It also has a roguelike structure where you gain resources based on territories that you capture, upgrade your home base, upgrade your army, upgrade the skills, unlock new characters to play as that will probably play differently than the one available in the demo. Tears of Metal has a lot going for it. It was a lot of fun. I also heard it's a good time in co-op. If you like to play these types of games with a friend, that sounds like a good time to me. Tears of Metal is still planned to release in 2025, so hopefully it comes soon. If you're like me, you played a lot of Suika game and thought that maybe you'd had your fill. Well, what happens when they replace the fruit with cute little dogs? You get a new game called Dogpile. That's right, you thought you had escaped the Suika game type stuff. We're back, and we have a bunch of good boys along for the ride this time. It also includes deck building elements. So you're not just dropping random things that come up, you have a deck of pups. As you play, you'll unlock shop upgrades and grooming upgrades for the pups. It will give them new traits that will change how they interact with the other things. For example, you'll get a dog that's barky and pushes other dogs away from them. So if you find yourself in a spot where that pup you really want to merge with the next one in your deck is stuck underneath another one, you use one of those barky pups to knock the other one out of the way. At its core, the Suika game foundation is quite simple, so adding these deck building elements on top of it really helps to spice it up. And, you know, you can see the aesthetics are super cute, the pups all make these cute noises, they feel like they have their own personalities. It's a good time. Dogpile for all the people who thought you were done with Suika game but were secretly wishing for something else. The Steam page for Dogpile says it's coming soon, and I can't wait. Megastructures are so hot right now out in indie game land, but what if I told you there was one where you can live out your childhood dreams of parkouring around a megastructure and fighting construction equipment with a chainsaw blade? That's Motorslice. Now, if you're like me, you've always been waiting for the day when you'll be able to fight a dump truck, and I've got good news for you. You can do that in the demo for Motorslice, but you're parkouring around this megastructure, hunting around for secrets, and taking a break every now and then to slack off and get a little bit of slice of life story. The music was pretty relaxing, and while this game's a little bit rough around the edges, I think it has a ton of potential, and I had a lot of fun with the demo, and I think this is one to keep an eye on. No release date yet for Motorslice, but I'll definitely be following along. So there you go. There are 10 demos that you can add. If you're here on the day this video comes out, you've got the whole weekend ahead of you to check these demos out. And if you're coming to this a little bit late after Next Fest is over, you can wishlist these games. Sometimes the demos are still up even after Next Fest ends, so go check these out. Indie gaming is full of diverse experiences, and I hope that this list has given you a nice selection of games to put on your radar. And who knows, some of these games may get the full deep dive treatment on the Tales from the Backlog podcast in the future, which you can subscribe to on this very same YouTube channel. If you liked the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, tell me if I missed a game that you thought was a lot of fun. Support my work at patreon.com/RealDaveJackson if you'd like to, and stay tuned for more coming on the channel. Thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, see you next time.